Today, I want to talk about a story from my life, and I know I haven't talked about this story in enough detail. Now, this was in 2021 when the world was fighting COVID. There was vaccine that had come up, and just like all of us, I took the vaccine. And within a couple of days, something started happening in my body. Now, this video is not about the vaccine caused it or not, because I'm not sure. I don't know whether it was by chance or by vaccine. The doctors don't know. So this video is not about that. Keep that thought aside. It is about what happened to me. The impact started showing on my body. There was inflammation. Inflammation which traveled with the speed throughout all parts of my body. My feet, if I could describe it to you, became like elephant's feet, to the extent that if I would try to get up, I'll fall. Now, it became so difficult that I couldn't even wear my own clothes myself. And I was resorted to crutches, even to go to the bathroom inside my bedroom, So even walking one step became impossible for me. And I remember every second day I was at some specialist place or another. I was visiting hospitals, clinics, doing I don't know how many scans I did at that point of time. Either I was at a specialist place or I was coaching my clients. Now my clients didn't know that. And this is another thing I want to highlight. This happens, and I'm not saying it out of any ego, but I do believe that I'm a strong person. I do believe that I have a strong endurance to pain. So what happens with brave people is that they are taken to be strong even in situations when they're losing themselves. So I realized that was the expectation with me, and somehow I played along with it. I was available for every coaching session that I gave to my clients, and they didn't know what was happening. I was absolutely normal in front of them. So I would just go, and before every session, no matter how terrible I was feeling, I'll put those earrings and I'll be there and doing my work with as much commitment as I could do. However, behind the scenes, my days were spent crying because I had no power left in my body. I had no control over it. I couldn't move it in the way I used to. I couldn't even turn to a side that I wanted, and somebody had to lift me. And I hated myself for it. I also remember that I was doing the worst thing that anyone could possibly do in that situation, that is Googling to figure out answers to the questions or the fears that were in my head. As I did more of it, it gave birth to more and more fears and insecurity and anxiety and stress. And I remember visiting my doctor that day, and she said, "Look, I can see some stress in a person that I have not seen in the past so many years. If you give way to even a little bit of stress, it will have a direct impact on the inflammation, and it will just grow worse, and it will be beyond our control." I remember coming home that day, and I was sitting in the backyard, and in those moments of little strength or little possibility, little hope that you see, I created a visualization. And this visualization was not about a dream or a cool thing that I wanted to do, but just to be able to walk to my friend's place. Now, this was not a new thing. I had done it innumerable times before. This was an everyday thing for me. She stays 3.5 kilometers from my house. So I would walk to her house and come back 7 kilometers in a go. So that day in the backyard, I created this visualization. I remember blue lights and lights going all through me as I created that visualization, and I connected so much. I created so much faith in that visualization that after that day, everything that I did was to make it possible. I remember my daughters would give me these painting books because they knew that mama can't move, so that I can do something and be busy and be distracted. I started asking for things where I can put in special effect. I started walking, experimenting with my crutches on and crutches off. I started pushing myself to wear my own clothes and all those things. And In those moments of trying, I remember walking to my neighbor's house, which is just, I would say, just 4 steps from my house, 4 or 5 steps from my house. I remember walking there, and then to the house after that, and then to the house next. Now, each of these steps would take me a couple of days, but over a period of 4 months, 4.5 months, I was actually able to walk. I was able to walk, and not only that, I was walking to my friend's place. I remember doing it almost about 5.5 to 6 months, but I ended up doing it. Why am I telling you this? Because in each of our lives, there are moments where everything seems impossible. It is so difficult that it seems only logical that we'll be stuck in this forever because we can't see a door. Everyone has done their bit. Doctors have done their bit. Our family, friends, they have done their bit. There are no finances, there are no opportunities. All doors are shut. But in those moments, right in those moments, I want you to resort to one thing, and that is your faith. The faith may be in anything. In my case, it became a faith in my visualization. For you, it might be faith in your version of God, the one that you feel most connected with, or a faith in someone whom you know is holding your hand, and hang on to that faith. Create a visualization. Create something that seems totally impossible. And I assure you that all the actions that you take from that moment onwards will align everything that is there in the universe to move you from where you stand to actually making it real for you, making that a possibility. I've experienced it. Trust me and hang on to that faith.